What's going on, Mark? It's good to see you.
Rich, good to see you here in 2026. As you can see, a few things have changed.
We are in a new location. We are down here at Fountainbowl in Orange County. And you want to kind of tell us what's going on with West PAC? I know people are going to miss seeing you in that place, but I feel like we're in a great space.
Nobody is going to miss West PAC more than I have, but the gentleman that ran the business there, Lee Haxton, retired.
Okay.
So what people don't know is I had basically a 1 or 2 lane bowling center. Okay. Lee was a master mechanic and he had all the parts to fix whatever broke. I'm a glorified pin chaser, ball return, 180, deck jam, out of range, I'm your man.
Yeah.
Anything more than that, I'm not a mechanic. People that know me know how unmechanical I am. So I basically had my own mechanic at a 1 lane bowling center.
Okay.
Lee retired. He's gonna, in the parts business being sold, I think. So the parts and the mechanic left, so I can't have a bowling center. You can't run your bowling center at home with no mechanics.
That's true.
So I didn't have that. I would like to publicly thank Lee Haxton for everything he did for me. It was a 49-month run. I think the West PAC Training Center, we ran him over, man. I knocked out 5,600 lessons in 4 years, so I put it on him. Also want to thank Chuck Sager and Charlie Kinsler, the owners of the building and part of the business, for letting me do what I did. Guys, we had a great run, and guess what? Now I'm Baker on Brookhurst.
Hey.
I'm coaching here at Fountainbowl at 17110 Brookhurst.
You got it down already.
And I'm coaching at Linbrook Bowl, 201 South Brookhurst, which is actually north.
I'm impressed.
So they're about 9 miles apart. And for me, it's like coming home because those that don't know, I grew up in Garden Grove. And I grew up on Brookhurst between Trask and Garden Grove Boulevard. Behind the Marie Calendars is where I grew up. So this is basically coming home for me.
Basically home, and it's a different day because I'm sure a lot more people are coming up to you than they have been in the past.
You know, we were talking about before we came on air, like my dad lived literally 2 miles from here. So I was here when they did the opening of this place back in 1974, wow. I believe. So I've always been around Fountain, Linbrook, all that in Orange County. But after being on the cleanup crew for 2 or 3 years, when I walked back in both these doors, I got a lot of like, hey, you're the cleanup crew guy. I'm like, no, dude, I'm the guy that struck on ABC Rival to Sports. No, the cleanup crew, social media is huge, but it's very cool, the reach our channel's had, and it's helping a lot of bowlers. They're all very excited to see me back on the lanes. I've been coaching for 17 years, full-time for a profession. If everybody shows up the rest of this week, it'll be my best February in 17 years.
Well, thank you guys out there so much for the support. As you can see, Mark greatly appreciates it, and I'm so grateful that we're able to be a part of it. Thank you, Fountainbowl. Thank you, everybody that has allowed us to get to this point, and now we're in a comfortable space again where we get to do what we do best. We're going to educate these bowlers, and we're going to show them something that...
Same coach, same me everywhere, whether here I'm trying to get Strike Seeker installed, get that going. Some of the tech at the West PAC we won't have here, but we'll have Strike Seeker pretty soon. But at both places, the person doing the work was the coach.
Absolutely.
And you still got me, and I'm, it's a little new energy. It's very different going from being inside a closed space to being back in a bowling center again. So I'm actually really enjoying it. This is what I grew up doing all my life. And I have so many friends in this area because I grew up in, Garden Grove. So many people, at Linbrook, I've got guys coming up to me that I played high school basketball with. Like, you remember me? I'm like, yeah, I remember you. You were the guy in practice that beat me up every day for 2 years. And then when I got tall, you graduated, I didn't get to beat you up. So the one guy I did remember really well.
By the way, it's like, are you bowling lately?
Yeah, so it's very cool. It's, and like I said, with the advent of social media and YouTube, there's so many new bowlers.
Yeah.
So they're all walking up saying something. So if you see me at Fountain or you see me at Linbrook, walk up and say hi. I'm not expecting you to take a lesson, but the book's right here if you want to get in the book. I'm working right now 6 days a week. And how it's working is I've divided it up because of traffic is a real thing in Southern California. I needed a north address with Linbrook and the south one with Fountain. So on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 9 to 5, I'll be at Linbrook Bowl. Tuesdays, 11 to 5. Wednesdays and Friday, 10 to 5, I'll be here at Fountain.
Okay.
So I've got 45 available hours a week to coach. First couple weeks, I've been using a lot of them, but that's what I do for a living, man. I like to work. And the bowlers are excited. And one of the things that's different at both Linbrook and Fountain is every day I work, I have access to 4 lanes. At the training center, we pretty much just use the one all the time.
Yeah.
But now I've got 4 lanes. So it's already happening. A lot of groups of 2 and 3 are taking lessons. So I got a little bit different, better pricing for that for you, a little more economical. So if you want to bring you and your buddy, if you want to bring your whole team, I don't care, just schedule it up. 2 at the same time, not a problem. It's working out unbelievably well. getting treated by Brent and Stacy over at Linbrook and Jennifer High over here at Fountain and all the staffs. Great start. Let's keep it going.
That's beautiful to hear, man. And I love hearing the team concept of bringing people as well. You guys should definitely take advantage of that. You guys literally have Mark here in the house all the time. Take advantage. He is here. And speaking of those bowlers, we're going to dive into some questions. You know, people have been waiting to get some to you. We got more questions than we know what to do with at this point, Mark.
It doesn't matter if you're at West PAC, Fountain, Linbrook, or when I go to Minnesota next month. Coaching is coaching. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So first question, what do you tell the otherwise good bowler that just plain has too much hook and consistently leaves awful things like 210 splits or light hits?
Well, that would be if you have too much hook and you leave a lot of 210s, that might mean you're throwing the wrong ball. A ball's going too long, it's not reading soon enough. A lot of times, having a lot of hook is only good if you can control it.
True.
Same thing with playing golf. Hey, I can hit it 300 yards. But if you can't keep it inside the trees, or I go to Hawaii inside the lava, you lose the ball. So it's not so much how much you hook it, how do you control the hook? So 210, either you're not far enough right, but if you move right and the ball starts going through the nose, that's telling you the ball you have doesn't have enough cover stock to it. It needs to have a weaker drilling, more cover, smooth that out so you don't leave 210s.
So when you say more cover, does that mean the ball is going to be weaker from having more cover?
No, it's going to start up sooner, not hook as hard in the back.
Gotcha.
You get a shiny ball, it goes long and makes a left turn.
Yeah.
We all like to see that. But if you have a lot of hook and you have to throw shiny balls to get it down lane, but you're constantly coming in light, leaving a 2-pin, the first thing I would think is either you're too far left with your slide, or the ball you're throwing doesn't read the lane soon enough and slow down, so your ball isn't leaving the 210 coming in behind the head pin.
Got you. That makes sense. You got to have your ball slow down. You should be able to visually see that as well.
And that's the tricky part of bowling. I mean, the Baker box. Now, the nice part of Linbrook and Fountain, where I put my tape,
yeah.
hey man, it strikes even more here. These lanes aren't quite as hard as it's the West PAC. That house shot was not for the meek.
It was not. I will
so
say that
first 4
firsthand.
weeks here, I'm quite the coach.
I bet.
A little bit. House shots are a tad easier, but the tape is working magnificently.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. You got to get the ball through the tape. But so part of the challenge of bowling is knowing which ball to throw from which zone.
Yeah.
I think that's people struggle with that. They have their favorite ball and they want to use it everywhere.
Yeah.
Some of the projects we might have coming up in the future is going to talk about more. There's specific zones on the lane that balls work from. That's my next big idea.
I love that. Okay. Well, that makes sense then. And I feel like being able to see the difference as well for people that can relate more to just bowling in a house like they do wherever they are is something that may actually elevate, you know, their experience watching this.
Well,
too.
we have to take it to the next level, I think, as a coach, because, you know, I'm doing my 17th year coaching full time. No, I'm getting old because I filed for Medicare. That's right, 65 next month, March 27th. Send all the birthday love you can. Unbelievable, I'm 65. A lot of guys on tour would have lost that bet. So I'm still here and kicking. So many times where you bowl is so important to which ball you throw.
True.
Not this ball is going to work for everybody.
Yeah.
Because now that I coach in different places a lot, the house shots are completely different.
Yeah.
And how you bowl determines the ball and the zone you play, not just generically throw this ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the tough part with choosing, you know, a ball for yourself is that on the other side of it, there's so much that I feel like needs to be like data that you take into consideration before just jumping to a conclusion on a ball. So one of the things we do want to help.
But there's so many balls that are good for you.
Yeah.
It's really dialing in how you bowl and where you bowl
and where
first.
You use them.
And what is your skill set?
Yeah.
Because most of the ball videos, let's be honest, they're the guys that have higher rev rates. They slide between 30 and 37. They hit between 16 and 23. And that thing zips out to 5, 6, 7, 8 and comes back and splits the 8, 9. I coach a lot of bowlers. Not everybody is throwing that shot. Now, occasionally, you saw Anthony Santos here today. He peeled that rock star off on the fresh. He hit the pocket about 25 times in a row.
It was beautiful.
He threw me my money and left. No, he didn't. Anthony would never do that. But he bowled so good. He had the right ball in the right hand.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is really has to be dialed into where you bowl and how you bowl to find the right ball for you.
Okay. Well, that's good. And I pray that we can continue to give people more tools to make those decisions because it's not an easy thing to figure out. A lot of people stress out about it.
I think it's the next thing I have to work on as a coach. I have to feel the need. Coach, when do I throw this ball and which ball should I get and when do I throw it?
Yeah.
So much of it depends on where you bowl. Out here in Southern California, we have one of the major chains, owns a few centers.
Yeah.
They tend to hook. No nice way to say it. They just stone cold hook.
Yeah.
So where you might play what I call zone 4 here, you know, standing on 21, playing 11, 12, out to 6, 7, you may start at 5th arrow, at a place on the fresh.
True.
Just because that's their house shot. Not right, not wrong, it is, but if that's a scenario, what ball works for you there?
Yeah.
That's how I'm trying to figure that out to help my bowlers more. That is the most common question I get.
Yeah, and a lot of new bowlers don't understand why we have so many different balls as well sometimes.
Some of us old bowlers don't understand. But there's so many good ones. That's the tricky part. There are a lot of good ones.
Yeah, it's an advantage that you guys didn't have to worry about. So we're on to this next question. I have a subconscious pinky tuck at delivery. So some people subconsciously, I guess, do that.
Very common.
At delivery, should I tuck it in my stance before my approach, or should I just keep letting that happen?
Whichever one makes you more consistent. So if you have a subconscious deal where at the bottom of your swing, your pinky's tucking as you throw the ball, and you're a good bowler and you do it every time the same, subconscious means you're not thinking about it.
Yeah.
If you're not thinking about it and your hand does the same thing every time and your ball roll is fairly consistent, I would never mess with it.
It's crazy hearing you say that, because there was a period where I feel like I was doing it subconsciously and I don't know why. And then when I try to focus on doing it, it's not quite the same. It doesn't feel comfortable. But is there a reason why you think that happens subconsciously? Does it give us a little bit more?
Now, when I bowled on tour back in the 80s, I tucked my pinky because I grew up a place called Champion Lanes, flooded with oil. He actually, the owner, Fred Vasily, may he rest in peace, at times he would take Vaseline and melt it and put it in the oil. So we had some rather slick lanes. When you walked in on lane 2, your eyes would water from the oil. I brought Dave Houston. What does that smell? Oh, we just oiled them. So as I say, I grew up in a place a lot of oil is an understatement. So I had a ton of hold all my life. When I went on the Pro Bowlers Tour, we bowled at some houses, which you would call a brickyard. They were old wood, hadn't been recut, and they hooked in the air. So by tucking my pinky, I got my ball to sit in a different spot in my hand. And when I tucked my pinky, it allowed me to get around it and add rotation to get the ball through the front. Where I bowled at my home house, I never tucked my pinky. My finger was out because I had so much oil, I needed my ball to roll faster.
So does the delayed kind of, right at
tucking
delivery?
the pinky makes the ball sit in your hand different place.
But if it's delayed, like it is subconsciously, does it do the same thing? Or
I would imagine it does.
It does? Okay.
I did mine on purpose, so when I came home and bowled, most times I untucked my pinky because there was so much more oil, because, for whatever reason. Plus, think about this, we bowled 24 games a day on tour, get the 2 squads together, 12 each. We only oiled them once.
Yeah, you guys had to adjust.
Well, they get there in game 3. We got there in game 20.
Oh, man.
So we would start, playing yellow dots up 7. And by the night, we were throwing our white dot 25. They just get there in game 3 of the same set.
Yeah. Okay.
They just get there way faster.
Yeah, that's something I'm curious to see if there's a difference in how the ball rolls.
Whichever way is easiest and you're the most consistent, I would use that. There is nothing wrong with subconsciously tuck it. If you do it every time the same, I wouldn't touch it.
Got you. Noted. The tough part is when it just pops up randomly and you don't know why.
Now, if it's every third shot, that's something you got to deal with, right? Then you might want to try doing it on purpose to get that feel.
Okay.
Especially if that's the feel you like, and all your good shots have that in common.
Yeah.
Whichever way you throw it the best, you got to find a way to make that happen more often.
True that. Okay, and we got one more question for you. As a two-hander, how do you prevent your shoulder from rolling forward and coming around the ball like a chicken wing during your final downswing?
It's always about timing. timing, and more timing.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, on the instructional videos I did with Jason Belmonte and Anthony Simonson, markbakerbowling.com, the first thing's a Game Change video series, and I spent an enormous amount of time talking about Jason and Anthony's timing, how they're exactly the same. So their power source is their right leg, not their right shoulder, so it's a swing and a roll. If you're coming around the shoulder, that means you have an early weight transfer onto your left leg. I measure two-handed timing when that left arm gets parallel, when your slide foot gets in front of your head. So if your arm is below that, in the 500, now about 1,500 to 2,000 virtual lessons I've done with two-handers, they're all early. That's just because they're trying to get so low too soon.
Yeah.
So if you're early, you're not getting maximum use of your right leg, and the only other power source available to you is your right shoulder. So when that right shoulder goes forward and you don't have your thumb on the ball, no anchor, your hand's got to come over the top, you fall off, and you got that funny spin. Most two-handers don't have a lot of rotation. They roll a little bit more. So it's always about timing. Because if your right shoulder goes forward, it's pushing your chin in front of your knee. You watch Belmo and Simo, they get to the bottom of their swing, that head stops right on their kneecap, and that creates that release point, and lets their hand stay behind it longer. Because they're not throwing with their shoulder, they're swinging it off both shoulders.
The swing set. Baker bars.
They seem to work.
Well, all right, that's going to be our segment on the first batch of questions for you today, but we do have a lot more coming, so we appreciate you. It's very good to see you again, and if you got anything for our viewers that are new and haven't seen you before that you might want to tell them about?
Just go practice. I mean, I know it's tricky now. It's a little more expensive to practice than it used to be, but if you're only bowling 3 games a week and you're not practicing, you won't get better. There's nothing in life, especially sports, where reps don't matter. So if you only can bowl 3 games a week and you got limited resources, find 2 games a week to practice. So if you bowl league on Monday, go bowl on Thursday or Friday. You work on your game in practice, and when the lights turn on in league, you bowl for score. You don't want to work on your game while you're trying to knock down pins. I have a lot of people take lessons 3 games a week. You know, they're 120, 130, 140, just starting out. And remember, we all start in the same place. Everybody averages 220. We were all 120 at one time. What was it? Reps and some good coaching all got us to the next level. So at least break your week up. If you can only bowl once a week, try to get in 2 games, just 2 games a week to work on your game. That way when you show up on league night, first couple shots, I know what to work on. And then you can get in your rhythm and you can get your better shots more often. I would say that. The lack of practice hurts. I get it, time constraints, lack of bowling centers and expense, but knock in 2 games a week, and I think you'll see a big difference.
And there you have it. Thank you, Mark, as always, and shout out to the crew. We appreciate you guys. And yeah, we got some merch coming for you, so make sure you tap that link that you see down there and visit markbakerbowling.com if you want any virtual lessons. And if you're in Southern California, he's very accessible in Orange County these days, I hear.
Yep, Baker on Brookhurst, man. I'm back at it. I love coaching. I'm starting my 17th full year. First 2 months of the year, I'm on record pace for lessons. I mean, every year I think I'm going to slow down, and bowlers keep showing up. And the nice part about my job, everybody tries hard, and bowlers are so damn nice. So it's a blast to go to work every day. So yeah, take advantage of it. I'm back in the bowling center. It's all good. And again, one final time to Lee, Charlie, and Chuck, thank you for a hell of a run at West PAC Training Center. I wouldn't change it for the world. It was huge to me, for me and my family, to get back on our feet after COVID. But as everything, life changes. Between here and Linbrook, there's about 5 bowling centers that used to be right there, and they're all gone. Things change. That's how life works. You adapt, you move on, and get after it.
Well, thank you so much, Mark. Shout out to Storm Nation, our sponsor, as always. And until next time, shout out to the crew.
See you, everybody.
Clean up crew. What you gonna do is the clean up crew. Come on through to the clean up crew. Throw them balls, I hope you do, with the clean up crew. The clean up crew.
What's up, crew? It's Rich TV here, and if you or a brand that you may know are interested in sponsoring any of our videos on this channel, make sure you reach out to us, cleanupcrewbowling@gmail.com. We would love to have you. We have some spots open, and we want to continue to grow this game of bowling that we all love. So if that's you or a brand that you know, feel free to reach out to us. We do have sponsorship slots available. It can be per video, it can be a package. We're open to it. So just reach out, and see you guys soon. Until next time, shout out to the crew.